This is a short presentation on using basic math operations in C++. We will cover 5 key operations. The 5 built-in basic math operations for C++ are addition, where we use the plus sign, subtraction, where we use the minus sign, multiplication, where we use the asterisk, division, where we use a /, and modulus, which finds the remainder, where we use the percent sign. In this case, percent will not mean percent, it will mean remainder. Now, let's assume we want to write a short program to demonstrate math operations. First, we will declare variables for sum, difference, product, quotient, and remainder. We will also declare variables for 2 numbers, a and b. We will then assign values to a and b, where a is equal to 7 and b is equal to 4. Note that we assigned values to our variables a and b differently than in our first variables program. Also note that we do not have to assign values to variables, so we did not for sum, difference, product, quotient, and remainder. For this intro program, all of our variables will be integer because we will learn later that modulus, which finds remainder, only works with integers. We will also see that when we do division with whole numbers, we get a different result than we might expect. Pause the presentation at this point and place this page in your notes. Now that we are ready to continue, we will use math operations to provide values for sum, difference, product, quotient, and remainder. Sum equals a plus b, difference equals a minus b, product equals a times b, quotient equals a divided by b, and remainder equals a modulus b. Now, we will not have to use these variable names all the time. For example, if I were to find the area of a rectangle, since area equals length times width, I would use variables called area, length, and width. These variable names simply remind us that we are looking at specific math operations at this time. Now that we have values for sum, difference, product, quotient, and remainder, we can find them on the screen with cout statements just like we did in our variable program. For example, we could go cout the sum equals sum with an inline. That way we would get a report about the value of sum on the screen. Again, pause the presentation at this point and place this page in your notes. Now here are some notes about modulus. Modulus only works with integers. When we go remainder equals a modulus b, in our example what we should see happen is if a is 7 and b is 4, when we divide 7 by 4, 4 goes into 7 one time with a remainder of 3. Since 3 is left over, that is the value that we will give remainder with this equation. You should see this result later when you run the program. Okay, now what I want you to do is make a new program called math.cpp. Use the 2 pages that I instructed you to place in your notes to make the program. Remember, we have to add the 5 lines of code we know that are in every program. You must also add cout statements to find the value for difference, product, quotient, and remainder. I did not give you those in the notes program, so you must add them yourself. Now when you are done, look at the results for each value, pay particular attention to quotient and remainder. Then make a copy of this program and call it math2.cpp. When you do, change all of the variables to float instead of int. Then delete the line for remainder, because remember, remainder, in this case where we use modulus, only has meaning when we're using whole numbers. Finally, watch what happens to the value for quotient. Okay, let's get started. Let's get this program done, and then we'll be ready to do math operations in C++ for any program we might write.